Krishna. So, welcome you all to the ISKCON Portland Sunday Feast program. Today is the 2nd of June, 2024. And before we start, let us invite the mercy of all the previous Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada and invoke auspiciousness by chanting the Mangalacharan prayers. Can somebody close the door over there? Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Rati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpaltarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shnitai Satchidanand Dev Bhagwan Ki Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So welcome you all once again to the ISKCON Portland Sunday Feast program. And I just wanted to take a very simple, straightforward topic today, and which is the prayers to Lord Sri Narasimha Dev. So we sing these prayers every time we meet, and on every occasion we meet, whether it is in the temple or outside. And one time when we especially sing these prayers is when when we start driving or sit in the aeroplane. So that's, Lord Narasimha Dev knows now my devotees have started driving. So when we sing these prayers. So anyway, Lord Narasimha Dev is the supreme protector, and he is none other than the Supreme Lord himself. So I just wanted to understand these prayers and go a little bit into discussion about these prayers. Okay, there are just 3 verses. It's a short prayer, but we will go into some of the topics. So, many of you are familiar with this prayer, Namaste Narasimhaya. So, we will chant these prayers like we do during Yule. We'll chant this after the Arati today. And these prayers are chanted regularly, like I said. So let us do a sample of this. And we have our nice Kirtan group here. So they can lead us into the chanting of this prayer. Is there another mic that can be just given to them? Hmm? I think then it doesn't go online.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Praladadayine.
Praladadayine.
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilatankanakalaye. Shilatankanakalaye.
Thank you. Very nice. So, this is the first verse of the prayer, and I have sort of broken down the translation into the respective lines. So, Namaste Narasimhaya. So, Namas means Namaha. So, I offer my respectful obeisances, Namaha. Te, to Narasimhaya, to Lord Nrsimhadev. So, that's the first line. Prahlada Ahlada Dayine. Dayine means to give. Ahlad means happiness or joy. So, this Lord Nrsimhadev gives tremendous joy, is the giver of pleasure to his dearmost, foremost, dearmost devotee, which is Prahlad. That's the second line. Prahlada Ahlada Dayine. And as it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. That the Lord appears, Sambhavami yuge yuge, that the Lord appears for, and dharma sansthapanarthaya as well. But one of the things is Paritranaya sadhunam, to give joy or happiness or pleasure to the devotees. So that's the first line, Prahlada Ahlada Daine. And the second one is Vinashaya cha dushkritam, to destroy the miscreants, the demons. So that's the second line. Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha. Vaksha means the chest. Shila Tanka Nakhalai, with his Shila. Shila means, like we say, Govardhan Shila. So Shila means a stone. And Tanka means like very sharp, like a chisel or a knife. Nakhalai, the nails of this Lord Nrsimhadev were like a knife, stone-like knife. They were so hard, and they went into the chest of Hiranyakashipu. So that's what the Lord does to the demons. Okay? So that's the first verse where the prayer is saying, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, Lord Nrsimhadev. You are the giver of pleasure to Maharaj Prahlad, and the nails cut the chest of Hiranyakashipu like a chisel cutting stone. Okay? And this is from Sri Narsingha Purana. It's also quoted in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Leela, chapter 16, verse number 52, and the next one will be 53. So as you all know, the story of Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu, it's a very, very, very prominent pastime in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And I'm just running through mentally in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's perhaps the longest pastime that covers or spans the most number of chapters, the most number of verses. Almost the entire 80% of 7th canto is dedicated to this pastime of Lord Nrsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj. It's so important. And there are so many devotees of the Lord, and the Lord has made so many innumerable appearances that everything is not captured in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, but the most prominent appearances of the Lord and the most prominent devotees of the Lord have been captured in Srimad Bhagavatam. And among all those that have been captured in Srimad Bhagavatam, first of all, it means that they are the greatest devotees who have been mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And those who found a place in the Srimad Bhagavatam, among them Prahlad Maharaj is one of the greatest. Because again, simply going by the size or the volume of the description in the Srimad Bhagavatam, how much emphasis was laid by Srila Vyasadeva in putting the pastime of of Prahlad Maharaj and Lord Nrsingadev in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Hiranyakashipu, it is written in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 4th chapter, that he ruled for a very, very long time. Now, I'm not going to go into the story of the entire pastime. You are all very familiar with Nrsingadev pastime, right? Anybody completely does not know what I'm talking about? Okay, you don't know. Lord, so there was this big, I'll just give a very short synopsis. There was this demon, and he wanted to rule the whole universe. So he did very extreme amount of penance and austerities and got a boon from a demigod. And the boon was that he shall not be killed by various means. He wouldn't be killed by a man or an animal, by a weapon of any kind, by anything living or dead, neither in the morning, neither in the night. He thought he covered all his bases. And then his son, Hiranyakashipu, it is said, had 4 sons. And out of those 4, Prahlad was a devotee. So it happens, even though he's born from a demon, there are devotees that are born in the families of demons, like in the family of Ravana. There was Vibhishan. And also in the family of demons, there are so many demons who are devotees, Vritrasura, Bali Maharaj, and so on. So, his son was a great devotee. And the father was so attached to his demoniac nature that he could not even tolerate his own son. If he was given a choice to choose between his son and his demoniac nature, and he chose the demoniac nature, and he tried to kill his son in various ways, because he just could not tolerate the glorification of the Supreme Lord by his own son or by anyone. And whoever glorified the Supreme Lord, he anyway had killed. So he was committing tremendous atrocities all across the universe. So that's the story. And so he ruled for many, many, many years like this. And the Lord was peacefully sitting and watching. Now, it's not that the Lord is harsh or unkind, but he was waiting for the right moment. And also the law of karma takes its course, so he was letting it play out. But the Lord really took charge of the situation when his devotee, his son, the demon's son, Hiranyakashipu's son, Prahlad, was undergoing atrocities or torture at the hands of this demon. So one of the major theme of today's talk is that when somebody offends a Vaishnava, when somebody commits an offense, an aparadh against a pure devotee of the Lord, that is something the Lord cannot tolerate. He is willing to tolerate a lot. But if somebody commits a offense, and that too such a grave offense like trying to kill a devotee of the Lord takes matter directly in his own hands. He does not let the law of karma play out and all that. He immediately takes control of the situation. It's like the president, he would let the police or the judicial system play out. But in cases like this, he'll himself pick up the gun and go and, take charge of the situation. So that's the kind of scenario. So that was Hiranyakashipu, and he found a place in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which means he was a really big demon, really big terrorist. Like, my picture will never be in the museum, but some big terrorists and all, if you go to some museum like that, you'll find their pictures in the museum. So you have to be a big terrorist or a big bad guy to find a place in such a prominent place as the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he was a really, really nasty person. But we are not like that. I don't think I am like Hiranyakashipu, I can say that. I haven't killed anyone, let alone a devotee, in this life at least. Not knowingly, even unknowingly, I don't remember killing anyone. So, but the point is, we are all tiny, tiny Hiranyakashipus. We do commit offenses against devotees. So, to take care of such a big offender like Hiranyakashipu, this amazing form of Lord Narasimha appeared to take care of him. What is the punishment for my tiny offenses? That is the question. Of course, I can't expect Lord Narasimha to come. He's not going to waste his time and, energy to take care of a little demon like me. So what are the consequences, or what is the punishment for my offenses? So that is what we will go into. So that's the next verse, consequence of offending a Vaishnava. This is from Skanda Purana. And if you all can repeat after me, that would be nice. So we can chant this verse from the Skanda Purana. Nindam kurvanti ye mudha Vaishnavanam Mahatmanam Patanti Pitribhi Sardham Maharaurava Sanjite. So, Ninda Kurvanti ye Mudha. So, one who does, so we don't go and do Hanti. Hanti means killing. We'll see that in one of the future verses. We do Ninda Kurvanti. We do things, foolish things, ye Mudha. So, those fools who commit such offenses, such as blaspheming or criticizing the first line itself is saying such people are grossly foolish. Don't do that. You'd be a fool to be doing that. What happens to them? Patanti pitribhi sardham. Patanti means they fall down. Not only they fall down, they take their whole generation with them, pitribhi, their forefathers as well. All right? And there are many stories like this, even in the modern time, children do something and then, the whole family has to suffer because of it. A different kind, the person who is the offender may suffer in jail, but in modern life also we can see that the whole family undergoes suffering, internal suffering, external suffering, all kinds of things. So, but clearly it is being said that not only they fall down, their whole family falls down. Maharaurava Sanjite, they fall down where? Into a very serious hell called Maharaurava. So there are various hellish planets that are described. So it's a pretty serious hellish planet where one goes and suffers. So that's the consequence. So we may not face the consequence right now, but later on we will face the consequence. We are accumulating that karma of offending Vaishnavas, our tiny offenses to Vaishnavas. So, okay, I don't want to go to hell, not to this one, Maharaurava. So how do I know what are the offenses? It's good to know what are the offenses so that I can be careful about not committing them, isn't it? So there is another verse in this Skanda Purana which talks about 6 kinds of offenses towards a Vaishnava. Okay? So let us also chant this verse. Hanti nindanti vaidveshti Vaishnavana bhinindati Krudhyate yati no harsham Darshane patanani shat. So, what are the 6 offenses? First is Hanti, to kill. So, okay, that one we are not doing. Okay? So, one of the things you have to realize as we are going through 1 to 6, they are in, how should I put it? Easy to avoid to very hard to avoid. So as normal people, I hope there's nobody who's a killer of a Vaishnava here. Easy to avoid. Just don't kill, okay? You can yell at them, you can shout at them, you can, don't punch them, maybe that'll end up killing them, but whatever. It's easy. Keep your hands and feet in control. That's all you have to do. So that's the first one. But if you see, it becomes more and more hard to control. So the second one is nindati. So nindati means to do ninda. And here it means to do ninda. You are doing it, and which means it is vocal or verbal or visual, or it's visible. Okay? So, as they say, keep your mouth shut. Okay? So don't let it come out. If it's there in your mind, fine. At least don't speak it. Or write it, even worse. That stays. Even what you speak stays. It's not like after writing people have gotten more offensive, or people have started taking on more offenses more, grudgingly. From ages it is known that, what is that thing that goes? Like words are, Yeah, something like that. The sticks and stones break my bones, but words break my heart. Whatever, I don't know. The words are very, very, very harmful or hurtful more than sticks and stones. That's the point. So to vocally or visibly criticize somebody. So that's the second one. The third one is dveshti, which is also sort of a, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We are going through the prayer of Lord Narasimhadev, Namaste Narasimhaya, with some more additions. So, dveshti, so to not carry hatred, that is later on, but to show hatred in some other way. It's an extension, in some way to show hatred to a Vaishnava. There can be, and this is a sort of a all-encompassing, that how one can show hatred. There can be so many ways, not just by words. It could be by, going behind their back and doing things, and basically where others also come to know that this guy really, has some beef with this other guy, kind of. So, your Shishnitai Sachinandev Bhagwan ki jai. So, vai dveshti. So that's the third one. So again, try to keep things in your mind, if at all. Now comes the hard one. So the fourth one is sort of the transition. Is Vaishnavan. So to Vaishnavas, this applies to all the 6 categories. Na abhinandati. Abhinandan, as they say. Abhinandan means to greet them. So to not even greet a Vaishnava, okay, I don't carry hatred, I don't say hurtful things, I don't do anything. But hey, I'll just be quiet, If you're passing by, I won't even acknowledge you. It's within my rights to do that, I don't like you, so if you come this way, I'll look this way. That's also an offense. To look away, to not greet a Vaishnava, to fail to greet Vaishnavas. So again, visibly, at least greet them. Even if you, as I said, have some beef with them, whatever may be the case. What does it, how does it, just say simple, sweet Hare Krishna. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta. So, Dikshasti chet pranatibhischa bhajantam isham. So those who have received Diksha, we should do pranam to them. So Sri Rupa Goswami in this verse of Upadeshamrit is being fairly liberal. He's saying manasa adriyeta. Just offer respect in the mind. But this verse is going a little bit ahead to do visible greeting to them. So Vaishnavan na abhinandati is also an offense. Now it becomes harder to control. The fifth one. is krudhyate. So the krodha, as you can understand, there is a difference between krodha and dvesha. There are two words, and the subtlety is dvesha is something visible. Krodha is internal. So you feel anger the moment all the past history runs through the mind. And our human nature and our human conditioning is such, however good the person may have done to you, if he comes in front of you, our nature, or for many people who are in the mode of rajas and tamas, in the mode of passion and ignorance, not in the mode of goodness, which comes by long-term conditioning, which comes by association, is that you will remember the bad things come to mind. Oh, this guy, he did this to me. Wherever you look, you'll find something. You'll remember you are a very, very good database of all the things bad things they did to you. All the good things they did to you is on an auto-delete, filter. Delete in 3 days. So that is our nature. So the moment when we see somebody, we feel that anger. Now, in some cases, it may be very legitimate that a person is, let us say, toxic. Well, then it becomes even harder. How not to feel angry upon seeing somebody like that, even though, and so we must know, today he is a Vaishnava. But the offense he might have done, in many cases, is before he became a serious Vaishnava. And this Vaishnava or bhakti, by which one becomes a Vaishnava, is a cultivatable quality. These qualities come through cultivation of bhakti. So, one must not hold and that, oh, he did this 10 years ago. Well, he has been constantly trying to improve. Now, of course, it makes sense that that person should have come and apologized. Then I will press the delete button in my mind. But maybe, whatever. I'll tell you very honestly, one of the things that I had learned is before a person is passing away, should apologize. So before my mother was passing away, and I could see that she might leave her body within a few weeks, I went and apologized to her for anything that I may have done. It was hard. It was not the easiest thing to even say. I realized that these words are a little heavy. Why the heck are they not coming out of their mouth? It's my mother. And between a family members, all things go on, Outsiders, you are more nice and, very, put on your best face. But family members know all the things. So it's hard. So even if, give them the benefit that it's hard to apologize. Look at yourself. Where, how many things you have done towards them for which, they are seeing you in the same way. So, by looking at ourselves, and we are very easy on ourselves, very, very easy on ourselves, we should be easy on them. That should be the inspiration to go easy on them. And really not feel the anger. It is not about suppressing the anger. That has been covered, dveshti. To suppress it, but to not even feel it internally. Literally not feel. When the person comes in front of you, you just don't remember that they did anything that should have made you angry. It should have been deleted, just like all the good things they did have been deleted. Otherwise, the moment you see them, you should go hug them. We don't do that. Even though, in general, people do a lot of good things towards others, especially in a society. Otherwise, they would have become outcasts pretty soon. If they are real jerks and are always offending, everybody will, they'll automatically be filtered out pretty soon. But the reason they are in a nice society or something is because generally they do good, but it is we who fail to see those majority of the good things and focus on the bad things, and we remember that. So how to press the delete button? So in today's class, we'll not go into the whole treatment of how to forgive or how to uh, r- completely remove feeling angry. So that's the fifth one. Okay? Krudhyate. And the sixth one is the hardest. No harsham darshane. Now this one is demanding that you should not only not feel angry, but you should feel happy on seeing a Vaishnava. Very hard. Unless they have really, really, spread themselves out for you. And then you can feel happy. Really. That means how much a Vaishnava has to do for every single person so that they can feel happy from the materialistic mentality. It's not possible. So how to feel happy on seeing a Vaishnava? So that's again a very big topic. But not feeling happy on seeing a Vaishnava. And it also matters on the level of the Vaishnava. Now that's a whole different discussion which we will not be able to go into, that the various levels of Vaishnavas and how do we know that this is a very, very, Hiranyakashipu knew that his son was a very, very advanced Vaishnava, and yet he was trying to do the most easy to stop, but the most severe, which is to kill him. Not one time, two times, tens of times he tried to kill using so many ways. So these are the 6. Patanani Shat. Shat means 6. Hare Krishna. So we are going through the Narasimha prayers. That's all we are doing. And just doing some more discussion on it. Okay? So these are the 6 offenses. So we must try hard to at least, do, if you are reaching all 6, perfect. At least try to reach the 4th, 5th level. We all know we are not at the first level. So that's covered. So try to reach as far as possible. So as you can see, these are very hard, especially the 5th and 6th ones. And they are in the mind, feeling anger. Internally, like, seething with anger, but trying to put a smile on the face. And one may become good and better, even better and better at it, at putting a genuine smile at the face. Then the question comes, well, who knows what's in my mind? I know only, right? I can claim I'm not feeling any anger, I'm feeling very happy on seeing you, so happy to see you. So who knows? You know, obviously, and Krishna knows. So that is the second verse. So let us sing the second verse.
Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha.
To Narasimha Parato Narasimha.
Jato Jato Yami Tato Narasimha.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Narasimha.
Bahir Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha.
Bahir Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha.
Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapade.
Narasinghamadim Sharanam Prabhade. So, Hridaye Narsingho. Lord Narasimha is sitting right inside your heart, and he knows. He knows exactly whether we are feeling anger or feeling happiness on seeing a Vaishnava. So you can fool the whole world, including that Vaishnava also, but you cannot fool Lord Narasimha. Why? Because Hridaye Narasimho. So he is Ito Narasimho Parato Narasimho. He is here and there and everywhere. Yato Yato, wherever I go. Yami, wherever I go, Tato Narasimho, Lord Narasimha is there. He is Sarva Vyapi. He is omnipresent, omnipotent. Bahir Narasimho, he is outside our heart. Hridaye Narasimho, he is inside our heart. There is no place where he is not there. That's why he was in the pillar also. Hiranyakashipu thought, how can he be there? But he was in the pillar, and he came out roaring out of the pillar and, took care of our friend. He's our friend because I said, he's the big Hiranyakashipu, we are tiny ones. So we are all in the same category. And then he took care of him. Narasimham Adim, that Narasimha who is Adi, who is the origin of everything, Sharanam, I take his shelter, Prabhadya, I surrender to him. All right, so that is also the second verse, also from Sri Narasimha Purana and quoted in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila, chapter 16, verse 53. So, okay. So then the next question arises that how should I know who is a Vaishnava or the level of a Vaishnava? Right? I don't want to offend Vaishnavas. That's the theme of the talk. But how do I know who is a Vaishnava or who is not? Somebody may be a hidden Vaishnava, somebody may be a visible Vaishnava like Srila Prabhupada, Prahlad Maharaj, and so many others. But just by putting dhoti, tilak or something, you don't become Vaishnava. Or just by putting on a jeans and t-shirt, you don't become a non-Vaishnava. You can have the greatest Vaishnava in a jeans or a shorts and a t-shirt. Or a greatest duplicit or pretender putting on the external garments of a Vaishnava. So how do you know? The answer is, don't worry about it. Just be nice to everyone. It doesn't take much. Now it's a hard statement and I am saying it theoretically. It's very hard even for me. So please don't think that I'm saying with a lot of personal authority here, but I am speaking on the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a verse from the, again, 7th canto, where we can all again chant together. Naitadrishah paro dharmo nrinam saddharmam ichhatam nyaso dandasya bhuteshu mano vakkayajasya. So what it says is that persons who want to advance in the superior religion, paro dharmo, are advised to nyaso, means to give up, dandasya, to give punishment, that is the meaning, but Srila Prabhupada has translated it as giving up the feeling of envy. The key word here I wanted to point out is bhuteshu. What does bhuteshu mean? He did not say nyaso dandasya vaishnavanam, or he said bhuteshu, all living entities, not even human beings. All, and that's what is the translation also, right? So bhuteshu means all living entities. Give up all envy to all living entities. Don't try to, it's okay if you can judge, but you cannot reliably judge. We don't have the right tools, the right metrics. We are not so advanced. But the offenses that we commit towards Vaishnavas will accumulate, even if we don't know that they are Vaishnavas or not. So the best policy is to be nice to everyone, to all living entities. In mano va kaya, through our body, minds and words. BMW. Remember that. There are three ways of action, three faculties of action: body, mind and words. Now, it is true that in Kali Yuga, offenses of the mind are excused. So by body and words, most important. But one must avoid the mind. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam is written for the Kali Yuga. So, why it is said in the mind? Yes, when we commit offenses in the mind, that directly does not attract sinful reaction. But what it does, it is constantly conditioning us. And sooner or later, it will come out in body and words. Sooner or later. So, like something, you do at home and you don't want others to see. By mistake, one day you will do that thing in front of others also. Because you're just, getting that mental practice. So by doing it in the mind, the practice or the conditioning is still occurring. Only it is not attracting direct sinful reaction at that time. That is why it is advised at all places to avoid doing bad things, whether it is offenses to a Vaishnava or other things, even in the mind. Then it is just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. It will come out through body and words. Okay, so that's something we shouldn't do. Don't be envious or don't dandasya. Don't do anything bad, anything to any living entity. Now, are there any do's? Yes, there are do's as well. Do's and don'ts go together. So there are 3 do's that I would like to share, again from Srimad Bhagavatam. So let us chant this verse. Gunadhikan mudam lipsed anukrosham gunadhamat maitrim samanad anvichen na tapair abhibhuyate. So there are 3 things that are mentioned. Guna, adhikan, mudam. So there are 3 categories of others who are mentioned. One, who have adhik guna, or basically who are superior to us, more qualified to us. Adhik guna, guna adhikan. So who we see as superiors in terms of qualities and behavior and whatever else. Mudam means should be very pleased on meeting them. Then guna adham means who is lower than us. Anukrosham. Anukrosha is another word for being compassionate, being karunatmak. So to be compassionate on those who are guna adham means who we think are, so be compassionate, be kind, give them benefit of doubt. And the easiest way to give them benefit of doubt is to remember all the places where you have been a jerk. At least that works for me. So I'm sure it should work at least on some of you, if you are like me. So I have been a jerk so many times. And when I see somebody else, I say, okay, possible. If I had my reasons, we all have our reasons why I acted that way. Give them the benefit of doubt. So that is compassion. And that really, I feel, in my experience, helps to eliminate the anger, to eliminate it. Not just suppress it, but really eliminate. And samanad, saman means to equals maitri. So this is very similar to that verse of a Madhyam Adhikari as well, which we have studied so many times. So, how a Madhyam Adhikari behaves, but this is how our behavior should be towards all, again I will say, people. So, Maitrim Samanad. So the translation is, every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased, mudam. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate toward him. And when he meets somebody equal, saman, to himself, he should make friendship, maitri, with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. Right? So we should behave, or we should try to behave in this way with others. And the primary reason, so it is said, one will not be affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. So yes, that is absolutely true, and it has 2 points that I want to make. One point is that, okay, we are all sitting here as devotees, not as devotees, but in a devotional culture. What we have learned is that doing bhakti to Lord Krishna is the main objective, not removing our suffering. But the point is that when our suffering is reduced, even Srila Prabhupada said it's very hard for a hungry man to chant Hare Krishna. When the hunger is, hurting your stomach and your mind, and then Srila Prabhupada said better to give him a loaf of bread than to ask him to chant Hare Krishna and it will solve all your problems. He will never do that. So, a basic level, now it doesn't mean that we should overstuff ourselves and all that. That will also create problems. So, but basic level of miseries, suffering, that's why this earth planet is considered to be the best situation for performing devotional service to Bhagavan, because there is a good balance of suffering and pleasure. Too much pleasure, you try to keep banging your head, it's like against the wall. Please do some, think about God. They are always in their own, bhoga ishwarya prasaktanam. They are busy in their enjoyment. They will say yes, yes, yes. And then the moment you turn, they will turn back. So they are too busy. And so in this earthly planet, there is neither too much pleasure, neither there is, now again you might think of Elon Musk or these guys, they have, but think about it. The disease is one thing nobody is immune to. Look at Steve Jobs. And even all these rich people, look at, what is that lady's name? Queen Middleton. Yeah, she was diagnosed with cancer, right? It came in the news, right? She's the future queen of the British Empire or whatever, what used to be called. No dearth of doctors or medical care or anything for her. It's all pleasure. And we are all familiar with suffering in this material world. Still, nobody is suffering so much. Now, there are definitely people every day. But that we should, to remove this suffering, to being good to others, not doing these offenses to others, causes our sufferings to be removed so that we can come to a certain level that we can do bhakti. So this removal of suffering is like our daily dose of bread to keep us free of suffering. Not suffering of hunger, but our mental suffering. Because when we commit offense to Vaishnavas, we also suffer. So our suffering gets removed. And the second point, the deeper point here is that we shouldn't do offense to the Vaishnavas because they are very dear devotees of the Lord. So if we love the Lord, we love everybody who is connected to the Lord. And the second point is, even if you think that this person is completely not connected to the Lord, he's completely atheistic, or he's turned away from God, there is no way he is a Vaishnava. Still being good to them makes Krishna happy. In the 12th chapter, in the last 8 verses, this is exactly the point that he stresses over and over again. He doesn't say that those who sing my kirtan are the most dear to me. He says that those who are nice with others are the most dear to me. The purpose is not there that Krishna is saying you should be nice so for the sake of being nice. The message he's trying to say is, if you want to make me happy, because this is the chapter on devotional service, 12th chapter. So devotees, solely for the purpose of making Krishna happy, are nice to others. So if you have that regard for Krishna, like a father, if 2 children are fighting, I have told this to my children sometimes, okay, stop fighting. At least for my sake, stop fighting. If they both have very good reasons, he did this yesterday, then no, he did this day before, no, he did this 2 days ago. The history keeps going on, and I'm like, okay, it's too hard for me to judge who's right, who is wrong, but please, for my sake, just because I'm saying, can you guys, be friends? And then sometimes they'll say yes. Right? Happens. So Krishna is like our father, and he's saying that just if you have any regard for me, be nice to others. Now all the reasons, even the legitimate reasons of that person, whatever wrong he has done towards you, kind of don't stand up against this request by Sri Krishna. When he says, at least for my sake, he's putting himself on the line. For my sake, be nice to him, to others. So that is the purpose of being nice to others. So we'll conclude by singing the last verse of the Narasimha prayer.
Tava kara kamala vare nakham adbhuta shringam dalita hiranyakashipu tanubringa Keshavadrita narahari rupa jaya jagadisha hare jaya jagadisha hare jaya jagadisha hare Tava kara kamala vare nakha madhuta shringa dalita hiranyakashipu tanubringa Keshavadrita narahari rupa jaya jagadisha hare Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tava Kara Kamala Vare. So Kara means hands, Kamala. So your beautiful lotus-like hands have what? Nakham, these very pointed, shringam means very pointed, very sharp nails. Adbhuta shringam, very like amazing. These nails, one has never seen these kind of nails. And that was because, that Hiranyakashipu had said, I don't want to be killed by any weapon. So nail is not a weapon. He also said not anything alive or dead. Nail is kind of in the middle. You can't say it is alive or dead, right? It grows, but at the same time, when you cut it, like you don't feel pain, so it feels like it's dead. So Lord has he thinks, Narasimha, you think you are the biggest cheater, Krishna will cheat you like anything, So he cheated Narasimha and killed him with a weapon which was neither alive nor dead, not even weapon. Dalita means ripped apart, opened up, basically. The body, the Hiranyakashipu, Tanu means body of Hiranyakashipu, opened it up like a wasp-like body, bhringam, he's like every time you touch him, it bites. That was the nature of Hiranyakashipu. Keshava Dhrita Naraha, so this is, oh my Lord Keshav, Dhrita, who has taken on this Narahari form, half man, half lion. Jaya Jagadisha Hare, all glories to you, Jagadisha, the Lord of the universe. So that is the prayer that we went through. So again, the goal was to go through these 3 verses with some more discussion, and the main topic being not to offend Vaishnavas. That was the biggest crime Hiranyakashipu committed. He offended not only a Vaishnava, but the greatest Vaishnava, Prahlad. So my acknowledgement, several references used for supporting this talk were taken from the selections of verses that were curated. Hari Parshad Prabhu is very expert in picking very nice verses to stitch a theme. So I used his selection of verses for today's class. My sincere gratitude to him. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shishnitai Sachinanande Bhagwan ki Jai. So now let us engage in. Are there any questions or comments or corrections? Okay, so now let us engage in singing the Arati of the Lord, and after the Arati, as I said, we'll have Narsing Arati. And hopefully when we sing Narsing Arati, some of these topics that we discussed today will pop up in your mind, and you can meditate, or not meditate as in like go into meditation or trance, but just think those meanings. If they pop up in your mind while we are singing the Narsingha Arati, that is success for me as well as for you. So that is the purpose of knowing the meanings of the prayers, so that we can know what we are singing. These prayers are in Sanskrit, so it's not easy for us to completely relate to them, but we should never try to just mumble out words. We should try to know the meaning of what we are saying. It has such a profound effect when we are chanting these prayers. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
If everyone can put the mats away and chant along for the Arti Kirtan, okay?
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Nama, sure. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya.
Hare Krishna.
I think the battery's low. Yeah. Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyava Saraswati Deve, or maybe Charine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Basadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare